There we are, we're just about to start the hedge trimming. A bit late this year. I was hoping to start earlier, but because we were waiting for the tractor to be repaired, I couldn't use this tractor. This hedge trimmer we bought a few years ago for about £5 covered in pigeon muck because it's been in the barn all winter, but it'll do the job. We used to pay someone £1,000 a year to do all the hedge trimming on the farm, but now I do it myself, so this is the beast. Anyway, time to get out in the fields. You can see here the flail heads that spin round and chop the hedge up. They go around about 540 RPM and basically just bash the hedge to bits. Anything it touches just turns into sort of small twigs. You certainly don't want to get your hand caught in that. Here we go, you can see the hedge needs trimming. Secondary growth is from these sort of stumpy bits here. You can just see there, that's the level it was hedge trimmed to 2 years ago, and up from there is all 2 years growth. So the idea is to hedge trim it back to the second year growth level there. Oops, bit of a problem here, just caught a bit of barbed wire as I was going along. Got it tangled around here, so next job, let's try and get that out of there. Here we go, here's a hedge that's just been finished. You can see it flails it off at the top. And you get sort of a bashed up finish, unfortunately. The problem with cutting every 2 years is that the finish isn't as neat as if you cut every year. However, by leaving it an extra year, you've got a lot more cover for birds, which is why it's performed. But underneath, you can see, there you go, on the ground, there's all your mashed up hedge, which will rot back into the ground. Basically, probably sort of bits between about 1 inch and 3 or 4 inches, depending where you've cut it. It looks neater when it's done, but it's just quite a lot of hassle, this hedge trimming. Probably one of the best bits about hedge trimming is you can actually try and save a tree or two when you're doing it. And here's one, it's just starting to grow into a bit of a tree. Now that's 2 years growth from that stump there. to that length there. I've just trimmed round that. I'll have to come back with a bullet and tidy it up. But what will happen is that'll now grow on up if I leave that another couple of years. And you can see one down there. Here's what, as they say on Blue Peter, here's one I did earlier. That's actually a crabapple tree, and I trimmed round that about 5 years ago, and it's going to make a nice decent tree fairly soon. Over there you can see on the far hedge there's a maple and an oak, and there should be another oak there, all of which I've trimmed around with the hedge trimmer, and now they've actually becoming reasonable trees. I'm sort of looking forward to seeing them grow on up and end up with something like that one over there, a really big chunky tree. I mean, it's very easy to just trim along and not worry about trees, you know, because it's a bit of hassle trimming around them. But if you want to have a nice environment, you've got to make a bit of an effort. So hopefully in a few years' time that will develop into a nice big field maple.
Here we are, we can just about see the start of the buds coming on the blackthorn here. So although it's only mid-Feb, there is signs that spring is approaching. Although to be honest, today it feels like it's going to be quite a long way away.